Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering creating invoices and proposals. This webinar will cover a job form overview. When we say invoices and proposals, we refer to those as job forms. Recommended job form settings to set your foundation before you create your job forms. And then we will run through creating proposals together, both with the copy feature and new from scratch, how to convert proposals to an invoice, a little on progress billing, and then some job form reporting. We will do a live Q&A at the end where you can get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into WEX FSM. When you first log into your system, you will be on the schedule page. And just to give you an overview, an idea of what proposals and invoices are in your system, we are going to navigate to a customer profile. My customer, Justin, I'm just typing their name up in the customer search in the top right and clicking on that profile. Each customer that you have will have a timeline of job history on the right side. And for this, we are just going to look for job 13437. And then we're going to click into this job. And what we're doing right now is just going into a job that has proposals and invoices so you can see what those look like. From any job, you will have a proposals and financings section and a invoices and payments section. The proposals, you can copy a pre-existing proposal. That is a good time saver that will allow you to copy just a previous job form, and then it will use all of that information to make a new job form for this customer. Or you can choose new to create a new job form from scratch. Once you create those, you will be able to see them saved here. And I'm just clicking on the PDF icon to show you what a proposal looks like in the system. If you have your logo set up, which we will go through your settings and show you where to upload that, but this looks really nice. You've got your logo, which will show in the center here, all of your details for your company, and then this is what your customer sees when you send them a proposal. Any proposal you create, you can quickly convert to an invoice from here. You can send it to the customer, and anytime you do send a proposal or invoice out to your customer, there will be a timestamp. You just hover over that time, and it will show the last date and time that this was sent to your customer. Same for invoices. You can click on the PDF icon that will show you what the invoice looks like for your customers. And nice and professional here, especially if you have your logo. So that's just an example of what proposals look like, what invoices look like. But before we work through creating a proposal together, it's always good to check your settings. We do have some settings, some defaults that you can set. These will be based on personal preference, and I highly recommend you go and check out these settings. That way we're setting ourselves up for success when you go to create proposals and invoices. The first setting we're going to look at is going to settings in the top right, and then jobs. And we're actually going to go to all of these pages. I highly recommend doing this. You will go, let's look at business details. Your business details are going to be your, company name, your address, your time zone, your email. This is the email that your customers will see. So this should be your business email, your phone number. There is a custom footer that you can have on your job forms, and this could be something like a slogan that you have, or maybe for some companies, you do need to have your business license on proposals, let's say. You can put those in a footer and they will show at the bottom of your proposals and invoices. And then we talked about your logo. You can upload a logo here, and whatever logo you upload, that will then show on your job forms. Always good to just come and check, make sure that this is correct. Sometimes when you sign up, this information will be your personal information, and you don't want, your personal email maybe to go out to your customers. So just make sure that everything you want is actually set up here. Next, we're going to go to settings, jobs, contract terms. Contract terms, this is the legal stuff. So this is going to be your terms and agreements with your customers. And for some of you, maybe you just need a general terms and conditions that is good for everything that you do. Or maybe you have very specific contracts for each type of job that you do. Whatever that is, you can create new terms from here by clicking Create New Terms. Enter the name of these terms, and then you can either type in here what you want, or if you have contract terms in a document somewhere, copy, paste those into here. And you do have the option to set defaults for proposals and invoices. So right now I have my general terms and conditions, which is for, the majority of jobs that we do. I have the general terms set for invoices. For proposals, that is more of an estimate. Those are more for bigger jobs, maybe commercial jobs that I'm doing. And I have that set to my proposal contract terms. When you're actually on a proposal or invoice, you can adjust the default to a different term. And what you have here is what will be available in the dropdown when you're actually on proposals and invoices. Next, let's look at, so we're going to settings, jobs, job preferences, and this is a big one. The job preferences page is really just your personal preference on certain things in your system. So if you are new and you would like to start creating jobs in your system, maybe you don't want the job to start at job number one. So you can come in and select your job number starting point, and then your system will just start a new job when you create it at the job number starting point. For job forms specifically, for your proposals and invoices, you can set the default information that shows. So the question is, do you want to show job location, model numbers, unit prices, maintenance plan savings, billing addresses, product numbers, line item amounts, and quantities? Those are going to show on your proposals and invoices when you create them. Now, you can always turn them on and off as needed manually when you're making the job forms, but this is what your defaults will be set to. So maybe I don't want my customer to look up the model number and, cross-reference what I'm charging versus what they see online. We'll just go ahead and leave that off. If I do need to, maybe I'm doing something for a very specific customer that requires the model number, I can always just turn that on the invoice or proposal. Okay, so come here, just check, make sure that these are set to your preferences. Always hit save. If you click out and you don't actually hit save, it will not save any of those changes. All right, next, let's go to settings, jobs, job types. Job types are very important if you want to have more functionality, more filters, more organization in your reports. So when you first sign up, you may only have a handful of job types that come as kind of examples, but I recommend that you come in here and add any job types that you do. What type of jobs do you do? For example, we've got installs versus repairs versus service calls, no AC calls for my HVAC people, commercial versus residential. Any type of jobs that you do, add those here. When you create a new job, you'll be able to essentially tag that job with the job type. Then, if you want to go and look up your proposals, let's say, you could see all of your proposals that were installs. If you wanted to go to your receivables report and pull up all of your repairs, how much money did we make from repairs over the last 6 months? As long as you have a job type, you will be able to filter by those types of jobs in your reporting. So, good place to come and customize the types of jobs that you do. All right, next, let's go to settings, jobs, payment terms. Now, payment terms, this is how long your customers have to pay you once you have done the job. Maybe you're doing mostly single family home residential. It's one and done. And after you get done with the work, it's due on receipt. So I have that set as my default. But maybe you mainly do commercial jobs and those are set more of as a net 30, and that's the majority of jobs that you do. Then you'll probably want to set the default to net 30. To create a new payment term, click New Payment Terms. And all you do, you just enter in the name of those terms and how many days your customer has to pay. From here, you will see these available as a drop down on your proposals and invoices, and then it'll just auto populate whatever you set as the default on this page. Okay, so in terms of settings, jobs, we went through each of these pages, but there's a few more things that I recommend checking out and make sure is set up before you start making proposals and invoices. One thing to consider is your price book. How are you charging your customers? How do you know what the pricing is? Let's go to more applications, price book, my price book. As a disclaimer, I'm not doing a full tutorial on Pricebook today. If you are interested in that, you can always go to the Help Center in the bottom right, go to Video Courses and Webinars. And right here, you can see our webinar calendar. We do offer a Pricebook session once a week, so you can come to that live, or you can just scroll down to past webinars and watch. We've got Pricebook Basics session and a Pricebook Advanced. Pricebook Basics is to set up your Pricebook from scratch, the order of operations we recommend, etc. So if you don't have your Pricebook set up, you can build that over time, but just know it is nice to have some items in your Pricebook here. That way, when you go to create a proposal or an invoice, you have items you can pull onto them. Next, I also recommend if you do have a maintenance plan program, setting up your maintenance templates. So go to more applications, maintenance plans. Same thing here. We're not doing a full breakdown of maintenance plans. If you are interested in that, go to the Help Center and go to Video Courses and Webinars. And same thing, we do offer live maintenance plan trainings. And if you're looking for a course, we have a video course, sell and track maintenance plans. And then down below, we have maintenance plans, basics and advanced, the recordings of those live sessions. But if you offer maintenance plans and you want to add maintenance plans to your invoices. You do need to set up those as templates first, and then those will be available when you create your proposals and invoices. And then let's go next to more applications, price book, warranties. Any warranties that you offer will show on your proposals and invoices, but they do need to be set up first. So if you know that there's warranties that you offer, there's equipment that you sell that has warranties, you'll want to come here and add those warranties. To add a new warranty, you'll click New Warranty. Determine, is this a parts warranty or labor warranty? And then you just enter the name, how many years the warranty is for, a description, and then hit save. So that is just making sure that your warranty information is set up. That'll save you a ton of time too from having to type out the warranty in the moment. You can just select from this list and add it. And even a step further, you can attach these warranties to price book items, and then you don't even have to select it. You just add the price book item and the warranty comes along with it. Okay. So now the question is, how do we create proposals? How do we create invoices? The main place where you will create job forms is from a job. Now, if I go to the schedule page, I can create appointments. When I create an appointment, it will create a job. So we can see here is job 15197 for this appointment. This is job 15198 for this install appointment. This is one way you can make your way to a job, is by going from the appointment, and you can click on the job itself, and that will bring you into the job. Like we looked at earlier, when you're in a job, you can create proposals from the proposals and financing section and invoices from the invoices and payments section. And we actually already have a example job that we're going to use today. So here we are, we're on job 13437 for my customer, Justin. And let's create a proposal. To create a proposal from the proposals and financing section, you can click copy or new. For today's example, let's go ahead and make one from scratch so we can see it all the way through. Clicking new will then put me in build mode. So this is usually, I'm in the office making this, or maybe I'm sitting out in the truck building this before I show it to my customer. Now, let's just start at the top and work our way down, just to let you know what is available on proposals. At the very top left, we have mark as favorite. So if you know that this is a proposal you would like to copy from and use over and over again, you might want to mark this as a favorite so it makes it easier to find later when doing the copy feature. Then you've got your customer information here. This will have their tax group. If, let's say, you know this customer actually needs 0% tax, you can update and change the tax group right from here. Pricing settings, if I click on pricing settings in the top right, this is going to allow me to update the pricing strategy. So maybe I need to offer them a military discount, so I can change that. The prices will then update based on the price book items that I add. And you can also choose here to show or hide maintenance plan pricing, line item quantity and prices, or unit prices. Once you have what you want here, go ahead and click update. Underneath this, we've got now proposals will allow you to add a featured image. And that comes in handy when doing proposal comparisons. So If I know that I'm building this proposal and I want an image associated with this, I will just click on featured image and I can upload from my camera roll or I can upload images that I've already saved in my price book. Now, we are creating a proposal. So this would be like an estimate that I'm sending my customer. They're going to either approve or decline the work before we do the work. And I need to add items so they can see the products and services that we are selling to them. So we will click Add Item, and this brings up your price books. Remember, we looked earlier at the price book. If you don't have any price book items, you won't have anything here. So having some form of pricing item here is going to be really helpful for you and just make things faster. So if you already have items in here, you can type to search. So general part. It'll look up those keywords and anything that has those keywords in it, it'll pull up here. So here's the general part. This is the one I want. I'm going to go ahead and select it. That's going to add it to my queue. But I also need some labor. So another way that you can search is through folders. So if I click on Pricebook folders, I need a general labor. So I'm going to go to my general folder, service, and general labor. Now we have two items in the queue here or in the cart. Click Add Items when you're ready. And now I've added those items. We can see this system is doing the math for you. Let's say that you don't have any items or the item that you want is not in your price book. You can click Add Item, go to Price Book Folders, and scroll to the bottom of the folders, and you'll see right here, Add New Product. From this button, if we click, this will then allow you to choose what type of product it is. Let's say it's a single part. And now we're creating our own custom item. Once we save this, it'll add it to the proposal, but also save it in the price book. And this can be really helpful if you don't really have a lot of price book items. You can just be building and adding your price book over time as you do jobs. You can also add a custom line item. The difference will be here. So right next to add item, you click add custom line item. This is going to be for things that you know you want to add to this proposal, but you do not want it to add to your main price book. And so first, it will want you to search to make sure you don't have this item. So let's say, duct tape. So, you're looking, you don't have the brand of duct tape that you need, and I will click Create Custom Line Item Duct Tape as entered. And now we're just creating our own custom item. You'll want to make sure you put in the quantity, the price, and if you're syncing to QuickBooks, you'll need to select which income account you want the revenue for this item to sync to, and then click Add. So you can see very quickly, we have added items from our price book, and then we created a custom line item. And the biggest difference between the two, you either have the items already in your price book, you go to price book folders and add a product to your price book from here, or you can add an item that is only for this job form and will not be added to your main price book. You can also offer financing from here by choosing select a financing product and recommend a maintenance plan. So you can sell maintenance plans from here as well. Let's say that you want to add a recommendation. We know that we are charging the customer $512 today for the services we've already provided, but I want to see if we can get an upcharge, an upsale And the customer needs these things. So, it's a win-win for both parties. Let's say there's a really dirty filter that I found, and we're going to go ahead and recommend a filter change. So I'm going to click Add Recommended Item. I already know I want a filter, so I'm just going to type the word filter to look for it. And here it is. We're going to do a full filter. Let's do this one, filter replacement, and click Add. Now this will show when we present this will show in the recommendation section. And then if I want to add this to the main product section, I'll click the thumbs up button. That adds it to the product section and adds it to the price that we're charging. If the customer says, nah, let's go ahead and hold off on that, maybe next time, you just click the down arrow and it'll go right back down to recommendations. Okay. Proposal notes are customer facing. Anything you put here, the customer will see. Maybe you want to hit them with a thanks for your business, or obviously any notes or pieces of information they would need about the job. Scrolling down, you have the ability to save progress if you need to come back to this later. You can present this to your customer. You can also convert to invoice, and you can send this to them and they can review the proposal online and even sign it. So for this, let's click present. We're presenting this proposal. This is what it looks like from the desktop view. If you are presenting this from mobile, it'll just be a little more compact, but essentially show the same thing. And now this is where you would be proposing this to your customer. We've got the filter replacement. Let's say they're like, you know what? I see how dirty that filter is. Let's go ahead and do that. Just click that thumbs up. So now we have our total here, and the customer, you can grab a signature from them. And let's say they officially accept the proposal. That will then send a message to you. If you have those notifications turned on, you would see that a proposal has been accepted and signed. You can come into the job and see, here it is. This is the proposal that was just signed. Now we do the work. After the work is done, we're going to need to charge the customer. So in that case, we're going to convert to invoice. So right here, I'm going to click convert to invoice. We want to do this as a I'm sorry. For this one, we're going to do the total proposed amount. I'm going to show you how to do progress billing in just a little bit. So for this, we just want to charge them for the total amount. We're going to hit convert to invoice. Now that's going to maintain your proposal. You'll still have that proposal for your records, but now we're creating an invoice, which the difference is you can't take payment on a proposal, but you can take a payment on an invoice. If you need to make any edits or adjustments to the invoice, you can from here. I could update the price. If I click on the item itself, I can make updates to whatever part of this that I need to. But as long as no changes need to be made, we'll scroll down and we have some payment options. Pay Now is going to process through WEX FSM and send the money to your bank account. Record payment is if you're going to process outside of WEX FSM. An example of this would be someone is paying with cash. You're going to want to document, you're going to want to record that payment has been given to you, but you'll still need to take that cash to the bank. And so, you're not actually processing it through WEX FSM. You're processing it by driving it to the bank. So for today's example, we'll go ahead and record payment. But if you want to send this to your customer, click send. Choose the recipient and hit send invoice. They will get a PDF that has a make a payment button, and they will be able to make a payment online, and that will be exactly the same as Pay Now in that it will process through WEX FSM and send the money to your bank account. Let's record payment for today's example. It already has the invoice we want to pay for pre-selected, and we'll scroll down and just pick payment method was cash from today, record payment. And there we go. It brings us back to the job. You can scroll down and see here's that invoice. It has been closed. It's marked as paid. If we want to see what it looks like, click on the PDF icon. And there we go. This is what your customer would have seen as well. So now we have created a proposal. We added items from the price book. We sent it to the customer. They reviewed it. They signed it. We came back. We converted that to an invoice after doing the work and took payment. Next, let's see an example of a progress billing invoice or proposal converted to invoice. To do this, I have created a progress billing install job just as an example. And, what is progress billing? So, progress billing is a way to bill out in phases where your customer will pay a percentage of the total amount as each phase is complete. Now, you have a way to customize this in any way that you need to, but the basic foundation of a progress billing job is build out the entire project in a proposal first, which is what we've done here. And if we take a look, I'm just going to open the PDF. When I built this proposal, I know that this is a job that will total $40,000. There will be 4 phases. Each phase will have its own details. And since there are 4 phases, we're going to charge 25% of the total job per phase. Now, maybe you do different percentages, that's up to you. But for clarity, just for the demonstration, this is how it's set up. So we have a job. It's 40K with 4 phases. We send this to the customer. They decide, let's go ahead and move forward. We know this is going to be a job that, takes 6 weeks, maybe even 6 months. It is going to take a long time. And as each phase is completed, we'll need to bill out in a percentage. So I've already done this. I have clicked convert to invoice 4 times, and each time spits out a invoice. So let's see what that looks like. When I click convert to invoice, we want to choose the second option as a percent of the total proposed amount. We know that the total is 40,000. We want to charge 25%, which is going to output an invoice of $10,000. And you will do this 4 times. So convert to invoice, choose percent, put your percentage, convert. Do that as many times for as many phases. And now here are all of the invoices. These are ready to go. When I finish with the first phase, I can go ahead and just send this one out to my customer and they can pay that. Once they pay that, you'll be able to see that that has been paid here. We finish phase 2. Just click, send that out, and so on. However, just know that if you have an invoice here, it is going to show up in your receivables reporting. And if you're going to pre-populate all of your invoices like right away, I would recommend going into each invoice and updating the due date. That way you don't have any incorrect accounts receivable aging reports. We want to make sure that if an invoice isn't due yet, we don't have it set to being due. To do this, you will just click into the invoice. And right here is the due date. So you just push this out into the future of when this will be due, when you think you'll be done with that next phase. And if you don't want to mess with all that, you could just, I'm going to go ahead and just discard changes to get out of that. You could wait to invoice when it's time to actually take payment. So you could create the proposal, not convert to invoice yet, and then after you finish the first phase, convert to invoice, choose 25% or whatever it is, customer pays. Now you don't have to worry about the aging. So, personal preference on how you want to do that. You can either just go ahead and make them all up front, change the due date, or wait until it's time to create each one. Okay, that is progress billing, and we have one more section before we get into our Q&A, so get your questions ready. And that section is going over some reporting. So we're going to bounce around to a couple lists and reports that relate to job forms, your proposals and invoices. The first thing we're going to go to is called the job list. To get here, you will go to Jobs, Job List, second option down. Now, the job list is going to show you all of your jobs in your system. And from here, if you need to search for a job, you can just type in the job number. And it's important to know that the job number is the home number, the main number. When I create an invoice, it will be I dash the job number. If I create a proposal, it will be P dash the job number. So just know that even if you have an invoice number written down on a sticky note, you can still come to the job list, search for the job by using the job number in the invoice number because it's the same, and then make your way into the job, which will have all of the job forms in it. Next, let's go to jobs, proposal list. The proposal list is exactly what it sounds like. It's a big list of every proposal in your system. And this is a good place to go if you're just searching for proposals directly. Type in the proposal number, or you can just look through the list here. Each proposal will give you a preview of it with the PDF icon, and you have the connected job here. Same with the invoice list. Let's go to Jobs, Invoice List. This is going to show you all of your invoices in a big list, and this is just a nice place to quickly search for invoices. However, if you are syncing to QuickBooks, the invoice list is a great place to check sync statuses. If I create an invoice and add line items to it, that's going to sync down to QuickBooks. If I notice that I created an invoice and it has not synced yet and I can't figure out why, this is a great place to go. Look, search for not ready statuses. If you see any, they'll be yellow and details will be red. And that means that there's something missing for the sync to happen. So right here, we know that this is a invoice for Alan Chang. I will just click details and it says a tax group is required. So we just need to select the tax group and hit save. And there we go. Easy as that. You can do any troubleshooting you need to right from here. Literally just read what it wants, fill in the gaps, and then it will be ready to sync and we'll go and sync on the next sync. But invoice list, great place to just quickly search for an invoice and check auto sync statuses. Okay, so those are our lists. Those are kind of single pieces of information in a big list. Now let's dive a little deeper and look at reporting. To get to reporting, you will click reporting in the top left navigation. And from here, there's a lot of reports. I do like that each report does have a little summary of what the report is about, but we're focusing specifically on proposals and invoices today. So we're going to look at the proposals report, the receivables report, and the job summary report. Let's start with the proposals report, which is under the jobs section. And we're going to go down to proposals. Now, from here, you can select a date range. Let's bump this back to January 1st to today. And this is best to see all of your proposals, but more importantly, to see your close rate. Your close rate is going to come from how many jobs you mark as an opportunity and how many of those jobs you win. And a job, winning a job just means that you officially did the work, you converted your proposal to an invoice, and you took payment. So you actually got that job. And the higher your close rate, the more money you're making, the more jobs you are winning and doing. And this is easy to track as long as you are marking the jobs that you want to consider in your close rate as an opportunity. And so when you're on a job, and let's see if we can, yep, cool. When you're on a job, right here it says opportunity. If this is not a job that needs an estimate and I'm not bidding for this and I don't really want this included in my opportunity, turn that off. I would only turn on opportunity for jobs that are an opportunity to get the sale. You're making an estimate, you're making a proposal for them. That way, your proposal reporting and the close rate will be correct. Next, let's look at the receivables report. Just for reference, you'll go to reporting, receivables. It's in the accounting section. And the receivables report, this is all about the money. So, you have revenue coming in that's coming in through invoices. And this is going to show you all your invoices in your system for a date range. So let's go back to January 1st. And the filtered totals, I think, are the best part of this. So we set the date range. We can see here are the filtered totals. And a good use case for this report is who owes me money, who has not paid their bill, and how can I get them to pay their bill so we can get more cash flow in here. The way to do this, I would search for the payment status overdue. So come to receivables. Maybe you want to just see, from last month. So let's go back to April 1st to today and who's overdue. So we can see we have over $19,000 out there in the world that are overdue. These customers officially owe us money. And to collect on this, you can either use the customer info just to call them and do your own collections, or you can send out payment reminders in bulk. From here, click Select All and Send Invoices. Once you hit send here, it's going to send out a payment reminder to everyone who has an outstanding invoice. And it's really nice when a lot of people pay their bill all at one time after sending out a bulk reminder. And our last report we are going to cover is you'll go to reporting and job summary. The job summary report, this is nice for seeing kind of an overall view of each job, and it shows any signed proposals and any invoices and the totals for those. So a good use case for this would be I'm just coming in here to spot check my installs. So I'll choose install job type. And I want installs from April 1st to today. And I just want to look and see, did we do an appointment, but there's no proposal or invoice? I'm going to want to look into that. So here, this job on April 22nd for Mary Smith, I can see we scheduled an appointment, but we did not complete the appointment and we didn't do any proposals and there's no invoices. What happened here? And this is just a good checks and balances page to make sure your jobs are happening correctly. If something was scheduled, it should be completed and there should be either a proposal or an invoice that went out afterwards to finish the sale. Okay, that is all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope you guys learned something. We're going to move to our Q&A now, but before we do, I just want to say thank you so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Creating Invoices and Proposals.